There we go. All right,
Yeah.
Eva.
All right. I will introduce myself. Hi, my name is Eva Socks. I am a superstar director in Pennsylvania. I'm originally from Maryland. I've been with Scentsy 10 years. Happily married most of the time. He is a man, you know. A 16-year-old son, 23-year-old stepdaughter, fur babies. We got the cat, 2 dogs, all the things. Get a puppy, she said. It'll be a great idea, she said. Yeah, puppies are fun. I might send them down to Billy's house. I might send Max down to your house, Billy, down for a little play date. When I started Scentsy, honestly, it was just on a whim. I'd never owned the products. It was just to get out of the house a little bit, something different than my everyday job of being a dental hygienist. Just something for me. I was married at the time, not to my current husband, to my son's father, and everything was about him and what he wanted to do, where he wanted to go, whether that was to the bar, hunting, fishing, whatever, coming in whenever he felt like it. Didn't have a whole lot of support at home, and I was commuting 3 hours a day round trip, and I just, like I said, I just needed something for me. And I literally didn't know what I was doing. I put my first party in. I think I sold like $1,500 in 2 weeks just from sharing the excitement of Scentsy. And my sponsor taught me how to put in a party, kind of. I was doing, you're talking a $1,500 party. I was doing like a bar at half off, a room spray at half off. I didn't know you could do like the 3-pack or 6-pack for half off, right? I was literally winging it. I did not read my startup guide. None of it. But yet within 7 months, I promoted to director. So what's that tell you? I mean, if I can do that, you can definitely do it. When I called Scentsy and said, okay, I'm a director now, what do I do? They said, there's a place in the workstation and the training center for directors. And I said, what's the training center? No idea. And there was silence on the other end. She's like, wow, that's pretty incredible. And I was like, yeah, just winging it over here, you know? When I think back, I mean, I was busy. I was very busy. Like I said, commuting 3 hours a day round trip, working full time, and a husband that didn't help. And that year I earned annual sales. Didn't know what it was. And I remember getting an email from Scentsy saying, you're like 1 away from earning annual mentor. And I thought, whatever that is, you know, I don't care. I've been trying to earn that ever since. I've only ever earned it 2 times. It's not easy. It's doable, but not easy. So just think about how amazing you can be at this if you're intentional with what you do. And mind you, I didn't know anything about the titles and how to promote and what a superstar director was. I knew nothing. I was just having fun. So some of the things that we're going to talk about is, if you're wanting to build your paycheck, what you need to do is build your team. I mean, that's the honest to God's truth. If you're sitting here saying to yourself, you know what, I'd like to have a $10,000 paycheck someday. Do you want to have to sell $30,000 in 1 month to have a $10,000 paycheck? I don't think you do. Billy's shaking her head no. Verna's shaking her head no. No, you don't. Trust me, you don't. That's a lot of Scentsy. You want to work smarter, not harder. Do you want to have to sell the bare minimum of 500 PRV? No. But God forbid life got in the way and you needed to just do 500, you could, right? You don't want to have to sell 30,000. So some of the things we're going to talk about is your mindset, goals, social media, your why, your approach, and your belief. So, you know, there was a time about 18 months into this when my marriage fell apart. The husband bailed, left me with all this debt. I lost my home. I ended up losing my job, $80,000 a year job. And at that time, I about lost my own self, became very depressed. I had suicidal thoughts, but fortunately, I love my son more than I love myself. And I didn't go down that route. And during my time of depression, I had downline that were saying things about me, that I was a bad leader because they didn't hear from me. I was just trying to survive. It was all I could do to get out of bed every day. I didn't post on my group page. I didn't return phone calls from customers that wanted stuff. I didn't care. It was all I could do to get out of bed, brush my teeth every day. But I woke up one morning after several months of licking my wounds and feeling sorry for myself. Woke up one morning at the end of January, the very end of an incentive period. It was 4 days left in the end of the month. And I was like, this is ridiculous. You're not going on this trip. You have downline that's going, but you're not going because you've, just sat around feeling sorry for yourself, and you're not going to go. I had like 4 people I had to get to certified and had to sell $2,300 in Scentsy. But the me that had changed my mindset that morning was like, you have to set a better example. You can't be the weakest link in your group. You have to do better, and you're not going to give up. And I told myself I was going to eat that elephant one bite at a time. And within 4 days, it's really hard to control what other people do. But I dug in there with these other girls, and they promoted to certified, and I got those points, and I sold $2,500 in 4 days. And I tell you this because I've gotten text messages from girls at the beginning of the month. They're like, I'm not going to be able to get active this month. I'm like, you have a whole month. It's $200. You can't find 7 people to buy a 6-pack of bars. And then I'm like, let me tell you a story about how I sold $2,500 in 4 days. Don't tell me you can't, because you can't. Like I said, I can bust any excuse you have. So if you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. You have to know where you're going. You have to set goals. You can't just, when you're going out to the grocery store, you're going to the bank and the post office, you're going to have your grocery list. You're going to have your checkbook, your debit card. You're going to have your postage. Like, you don't just wing it. Like, you've got to have a plan. And I remember going to Superstar Director Summit one year and seeing on the marquee that they have up there names of superstar directors that I look up to, who have inspired me and know some of the paychecks that they've made. And I remember looking at their achievements as it popped up and thinking, wow. But the light bulb went off. I'm like, I've sold a lot more Scentsy than they have, but their paychecks are triple what mine is. And that was my aha moment, where I'm like, sell less, sponsor more, build the team, because I know that they have really big teams. So if you guys don't have this goal tracker, you need to get it. Missy probably has it. If not, we can get you the file, right? You print it off. And it tells you right here, you need to talk to at least, it's like 3 to 4 people a week, 10 to 12 people a month. It's 114 people a year to land 14 new recruits. So like if I said to you, there's this room over here, it's this magic room. There's 114 people in there. If you go in there and you talk to all these people and you get to know all of them, build a relationship with all of them, get to know all of them, you're guaranteed to sponsor 14 of those people. Would you do it? Absolutely, you would, because you're guaranteed, right? Well, you're meeting those people every day. You're just not taking the time to build these relationships with them. You're letting them pass by. So that's really important. This paper has the annual sales tracker and the annual mentor tracker. This annual mentor is what's going to build your paycheck. The sponsoring, not the selling. But when you try to track this and do your 30,000 between May 1st to the end of April, average 2,500 a month, this right here that's going to get you this. Because let me tell you something, the people that I've sponsored hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And it's never, ever one that I left a Scent Circle and business card to at a restaurant, a waitress. Never. I've tried, haven't we, Billy? We've tried. Margaritaville. It's never those people. It's the people that, hostesses, customers, friends. Those are the people that you build relationships with. Not saying that it can't happen. It can, but less likely to happen there. So when you're going for this, when I see people have $6,000 months, I'm like, why? There's so much PRV in there that needs to be flipped over to host, with hostesses trying to join with their parties. That's where you're gonna build. Walt Disney. I love Disney. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a little bit of a Disney nut, but Walt Disney failed over 200 times. 200 times. So like, can you imagine what this world would be like if Walt Disney had just given up the first time, the second time, the 10th time, the 100th time, right? Like, he didn't give up. Thank God he didn't give up. You've got to be intentional. You've got to be intentional with what you're doing. When it comes to social media, don't try to be like me. Don't try to be like Verna. Verna's all cute now. She's got her TikToks going on. I'm still not brave enough really to do the TikToks. But don't try to be like everybody else. Be you. People will fall in love with you. They're watching you. So be authentic to yourself. Your vibe attracts your tribe. If you are negative and always complaining about stuff, those are the kind of people you're going to attract to you. Are those the kind of people you want in your circle? The negative Nancy's? No, I don't think so. When people want me to be their sponsor, when they choose me as their sponsor, I always ask them, why me? Thank you for choosing me. I know you could have chosen anyone else. Why me? And they'll say, I see how much fun you're having with Scentsy. You're positive. I love your mindset. I love how you shout out your team and all these things, right? To me, that's important to know why they chose me. It's probably also important if you see that you're friends with someone and they signed up under somebody else, maybe even ask, hey, can I ask you why didn't you choose me, right? They might tell you the cold hard truth. Well, you made that social media post about whatever and I didn't love it, right? I mean, there's some things you pick and choose. What's important to you, what you're going to share and what you're going to post. Flipping your hostess. Guys, you got to flip your hostess. Don't keep that $500 party for yourself. They've already done the work. Offer it to them. Offer it to them. Sometimes they don't even realize that they could become a consultant at no cost, that their hostess rewards can pay for their kit. I didn't know how to flip the hostess within the party. It changed a couple of years ago. I didn't know how to do that. And that held me back for about a year and a half because I didn't know how. I didn't want to ask anybody. Trying to figure it out on my own. Finally, I asked someone, another superstar director. She talked me through it. She left me an actual voice message in Instant Messenger on Facebook and explained it to me. I could hear it. And light bulb. And I think I sponsored 12 people in 2 months. And that's how I earned the top 50 to British Columbia. Because I finally quit making excuses and I just did it. Gosh, just 6 months into my Scentsy journey, I had a hostess have an $800 party, basket party. We went to close it out. She said, I think I'm going to become a consultant. And I said, why don't we just sign you up and you submit this as your party? And she said, oh, I don't want to take that $200 from you. I said, it'll come back to me. She's now one of my superstar directors. Her niece is a second generation superstar director. You see, like you give more than you take, it comes back. I couldn't have her sign up after I submitted her party. And then how's she going to reach shooting star? And like, she was already 200 from certified, right? Mm-hmm. I've had people come to me and join. And they just had a party with someone else a month ago and had a $600 party. And the consultant never offered to flip it. Oh, she offered to let her join and get the $59. She wasn't going to give her the PRV. This girl was trying to earn money to take her kids to Disney. She was like, how am I going to earn shooting star? I just sold to all these people a month ago. I said, because you're going to go to these people and say, hey, I know how much you loved your Scentsy. Guess what? I'm a consultant now. Would you want to get some of this stuff friggin' half off? All you gotta do is collect some orders from your friends. Within 15 minutes, she called me back. She said, you got any of these little party bags I can borrow? I need 4. I was like, yes. She was giving me her excuses and I busted it. I was like, you can do this. I think I might even told her the $2,500 in 4 days story. I probably did. Just because she needed to know that. No today isn't no forever. People are going to tell you no. That's okay. Melody Buzzard, you guys know Crazy Melody. She's one of my directors. She told me no for 5 or 6 years. She kept telling me no. Finally, she gave in. She did it. Rest is history. You have to keep planting seeds. You don't want to just reach out to somebody because you think they're going to be great on your team that you've never talked to before, right? Follow them on Facebook. You can actually, in your Facebook settings, you can actually not just follow, but have a certain group. You can group people. Like, these are your people that you want to show up on your feed. You want to always see what they're doing. You can set that in your laptop. You can't set that on your phone, but you can set it in your laptop and look at it on your laptop. You can set people that's just friends, family, Scentsy friends, whatever. But there are certain people that you want to always follow because you want to comment on their stuff and like their stuff and build relationships with them because you got it in the back of your mind, like, they would be great at this. You can actually create that group. Your why. Your why. For some of you that maybe already have started to build a team or have a downline, and you'll say, I can't motivate them. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. Guess what? They don't work for you. They're independent. This is about what they want. This is about what you want. And motivation comes from within. I can talk to you forever. I might say something that's inspiring, but to motivate you, motivation comes from within. And motivation comes from where, you're just like losing sleep over thinking about what you want to do next with Scentsy. You wake up thinking about it, having a plan, how you're going to book your next party, or how you want to make that next goal, or how you want to earn that incentive trip. Things that make you excited. What is your reason for wanting to do this? Is it about wanting to make extra income for vacation, extra spending money to be able to stay home with your family, right? All those things are things that most people would want when you think about things that you can buy, right? Or time with family. Most of us want that. But I want you to dig deep and be a little selfish for a moment and say, what will this do for me? What is this going to do for me? How does this make me feel? How does this make me feel by doing this? And I figured mine out a couple of years ago. I mean, you're talking, I've been doing this 10 years, and I think it was 3 years ago during a training, another superstar director was having the same conversation I'm having with you, and said, you have to think about how it makes you feel. Why do you do this? Why do you want to share the opportunity with people? And I was like, oh my gosh, I know. Because I'm codependent. I know I'm a codependent person. My dad was an alcoholic. I had married an alcoholic, and I have that need to want to fix and heal and help. And for me, Scentsy feeds that, because when I see someone who just, lost her job, or she's a single mom now, I'm like, oh, I know what Scentsy's done for me. I want to be able to help her with Scentsy. I've been at the grocery store where my son asked for a bag of apples, and I'm like, you can get an apple. Don't want him to know I've got $12 left, and I don't know when I'm getting my next money to pay for groceries, gas, or anything. Been there. So me wanting to help people with that, that's my why. That's what drives me. That's what feeds my fire inside. Your belief. So this isn't just about believing in yourself. I can tell you that I believe in you. Missy can tell you she believes in you. Dan Orchard and Orville and Heidi can tell you that they believe in you. But you, in order to want to offer this opportunity to people, you have to honestly believe that you are offering someone an opportunity that's going to change their life. You can't rule anyone out. Nobody out. That's not your choice to make. People would have looked at me and said, she don't need Scentsy. She wouldn't want to do Scentsy. I mean, she doesn't need it for the money. She's making 80 grand a year. She's too busy. She leaves at 6 a.m. She's home at 6 p.m. She's got a toddler and an a-hole husband that don't help. I only said that because I know this is going to be on YouTube. People are going to watch it. I have other words, but yeah, people would have ruled me out. They never would have asked me. I guarantee you there are people that you look at the same way and say, she would never want to do that. She doesn't need it, right? You don't know what she needs. And most, or he, I'm sorry, men that are watching, you don't know what that person may need Scentsy for. Honestly, and I know it's crazy, but I always look at a lot of us like we're like the island of misfit toys from Rudolph, right? Like we all have broken pieces and we all need something. And most of the time when you talk to consultants, they'll tell you that this is their community. This is their place to be. And the women that are sitting right here in front of me right now, names I can see that I've grown to know and love, I can tell you that they could leave Scentsy tomorrow and I would still love them the same. I would still talk to them. We would still be friends because it's not Scentsy that keeps us together. It's what brought us together. And for that, I'm thankful. So you cannot rule anybody out. And when someone says they're too busy, you know what you say? You know what? That's great because busy people get shit done. There, I did say a cuss word. Busy people get shit done. Lazy people don't. What do lazy people do? Busy people do. That's great. That's great that you're busy. And you know what? Until you can share your own story, share somebody else's story. Hey, I know this consultant. She was commuting 12 hours a day, had a husband that didn't help and a toddler at home. And she did this and she promoted director in 7 months, didn't even know what she was doing. Tell my story until you create your own story, somebody else's story. I told Becca Levi's story for the longest time. I mean, tell someone else's story till you have your own. When you're offering the opportunity to somebody and if it feels icky and awkward, it's probably because you're not there yet. You're asking maybe for you and you're not genuinely asking because you know it's going to benefit their life. You have to be authentic and knowing that you're offering it for them. Sometimes there's people that have talked about wanting to join and I'm like, please don't. It's terrible, but I'm being authentic, right? Because I know what's coming for me down the road because I know these people. My sister was one of them. I love her, but the girl, she never even got active. Right? Like I wanted it. Why I'm saying this is because I wanted it for her more than she wanted it for herself. I wanted it for her. I wanted her to love Scentsy, be in this with me. It's not what she wanted. She's a makeup girl. She'd be great at selling skincare and makeup and all that stuff. But just not Scentsy, and that's fine. When you focus on what this can do for them, and that's why it's not hard for me anymore. I know what it's going to do for them, what it can do for them. It's just getting them to want to see it. Some of you guys here know Kristen. You know Kristen White. The day that I met her, you know, she was dating my ex-husband's friend. I remember thinking, she is such a nice lady. Like, why is she dating him? She's gotten wise. No more. She's not dating him anymore. But I remember thinking, she is so sweet and she's so nice. and she taught sign language. And I thought, I want her on my team. I want her to be a part of this. She didn't know that. I knew that. And we just talked about life stuff off and on and kept in touch, and went to lunch one day and didn't even talk about Scentsy. And then it happened. It happened. And she's great at it. And she's just so blessed by what Scentsy's brought to her life. And she has an amazing story. It's not my place to share, but she has an amazing story that's brought her some close friends through Scentsy, other people that she's helped. So I never realized at the time what that was going to do for her and other people that I know. But I was thankful that I was brave enough to keep going and not give up on her. Some of the things that I've learned over the past 10 years are you've got to work hard. You've got to work hard. I mean, you have to be consistent. You can't give up. You can slow down and try to keep that momentum going. But if you stop, it's really hard to get it back. So just don't stop. Quit believing the lies that you're telling yourself, that you suck. No one's going to want to join my team. You know, all those things you're telling yourself, stop it, because you would never talk to your best friend or someone that you care about the way that you talk about yourself, ever. So don't do that. We have amazing products, guys. You know, I have a lot of respect for entrepreneurs, you know, these people that you see that make their own stuff, right? Like, we don't have to do that. Yeah, we make some samples, but to create the product and distribute it and get it out there, Scentsy, they're creating everything. You just have to promote it and put it out there and show people what you're doing and how much you love it. I'm not a salesperson. I was a dental hygienist for 30 years, and then I was able to retire because of Scentsy. I just share how much I love the products and people want it. So show people that you're using the products. Show them how you're using them. Share your story, as painful as it can be. Do you know how many times I've cried telling my story? I didn't cry today. Are you proud of me? I think I got all my tears out earlier. But I didn't cry today telling my story. But it's okay, because you might reach someone who has the same story you do. I'll never forget one year I wasn't going to speak at, I don't remember if it was World Tour or SFR, but I wasn't going to speak. And I was on a beach with Shannon Grant, who's going to be here Thursday. So excited. I was on a beach with her and my husband and her husband, and these two ladies came up to me, and the one lady says to me, "Hi, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but my friend wants to talk to you, but she's really scared to talk to you." And I'm like, clearly she doesn't know me, because she would never be scared to talk to me, because I will keep talking to you and she'll have to try to run away. And so she pulls her friend over and she goes, "I just want you to know that I saw you share your story at World Tour however many years ago. And I was lead consultant, and I was going to quit. And you spoke, and we had the same story. And I saw how you struggled and how you pushed through it, and it inspired me. And I am now a star director." And you guys that know me, like, it just made me so happy, so happy. And whether you believe in God or another power out there, I believe that he puts people in places at certain times for specific reasons. And it was funny, because I had kept telling myself, and up until that moment, yeah, I don't want to speak at World Tour this year, because I mean, it was World Tour. It was World Tour, because people get tired of hearing your story. They don't want to hear that again, like blah, 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 blah. Same old story, right? But you have to remind yourself that not everyone's heard the story. You're going to maybe tell the story and someone new hears it that day. And I got on the plane to go home from that. Billy, you were at that one. You were at that one, because we sat in that pavilion and we were eating in there with Shannon and Steve and
It was
everybody.
Mexico.
It was Mexico. Yeah.
Mm.
I was on the plane and I got a text, I think, from Lori Willis. And she was like, hey, a little birdie told me, the little birdie's name is Shannon Grant. A little birdie told me that you're going to be in Raleigh and we need a speaker. Can you help us? No, and I can't say no.
Mhm.
Now, had that girl not walked up to me at the beach that day and told me how much it meant to her, I probably would have said, I can't, I don't want to. But I was like, that was my calling. Like I was meant to do it. So it's really important to share your journey, even though it may be painful and hard to talk about. Like I said, we're all busy. So make time. You've got to make time. When I was working those 12-hour days, I made time on my lunch break. I made time. I got up earlier, stayed up a little later. Kristen Mimo is a director in my downline. Nobody's busier than her. She got 8 boys and got 1 on the way. I don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. I think they're going to find out when she has it. But I'm like, look, I don't care if you got 2 jobs, 4 kids, whatever you got. Nobody busier than a mom with 8 boys.
Mhm.
Now she's going to have 9 kids. So there's that. Just think about that. You've got a party. This is where you're going to meet people. This is how you're going to build your team. You're going to meet people through having parties. Because if it's not the hostess that wants to flip, it could be one of her guests. Happens to me all the time. You know, I'll have a Facebook party. They'll fill out that Google form. And at the end, it says something like, you know, do you know of anyone interested in earning extra income? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, no, maybe. Some people check yes. And they're a guest in her party. She doesn't want to sign up. Her friend can sign up. So partying's where it's at. That's when people say I can't find anyone, then I'm gonna probably assume you're not booking enough parties, because that's how you branch out. Even if you know 5 people or 3 people, think of how many people they know that you don't know, right? And then you get those people to book parties, and then they're gonna find people. You're gonna find people through them. Get an accountability partner, someone that's gonna hold you accountable. You know what I'm gonna say next. Somebody's gonna tell you to get your whole ass in there, not to be a half-asser, right, Verna? Get that. Not that you're a half-asser, Verna. I'm not saying that, but Verna, she knows my sense of humor. Verna might not say half-asser. That's okay. So you got to get your whole ass in there. You just got to. And people that care about you are going to tell you the cold hard truth. They're not going to tell you what you want to hear all the time. Billy's really good for that. She's good for kicking me in the you know what when I need it. You've got a sponsor. Plain and simple. You've got, I don't like to say recruit because we're not the army, we're not a sorority, we're not a cult. Some people might think that direct sales is a cult. We're not. But sponsoring, anybody can just say, oh, you know, sign somebody up, but to be a good sponsor, you're there for that person. And it really is the most valuable thing that Scentsy offers us. We have the best compensation plan by far. So if you're not asking people to do this with you, somebody else is going to. I did a fundraiser once and we closed it out, and a week later, she's popping up on my downline report. I'm like, what? She signed under who? Like, I wasn't mad at either of them. I was mad at me. That's my fault. I'm the one that didn't offer it to her, right? Like, let that be a lesson learned. And yeah, you know, everyone's going to have stuff going on in their lives, but you just never know. Like, this could be the best thing that's ever happened to someone, you offering this to them, because I know it's the best thing that ever happened to me. One of the best things that's ever happened to me, besides my husband and my son and all my friends. But a lot of my friends I wouldn't have met if it weren't for Scentsy. So with that said, most importantly, I'll leave it with this. Most importantly, you just need to get out of your own way. You are what's in your way. nobody else but you. I don't think I left anything out that I wanted to share. I know everybody wants, oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. Ta-da. Everybody usually wants this like golden, like, what do I say? What do I say? To get people to join. It's different, right? It's different. It depends on how often you've talked to somebody about it before. Like, are you keeping track in a notebook? Like, I offered so-and-so the opportunity on this date. She said not at this time because whatever, right? I am not a cold call person. Even though you're not calling them, I still call it cold call. I never just reach out to someone and say, hey, Susie, you want to join my team? Right? The best time is when you're already in a conversation with someone. Like if you're following up on an order they got, an order they received, if they're reaching out to you saying, hey, I'd like to buy X amount of Scentsy bars. I had a girl one time, her name's Krista Harbaugh. Gosh, this was probably 8 years ago. I think Coffee Tree was going away or something like that. She's like, I don't know. It was like, she wanted like 30 bars of Coffee Tree, something crazy. And I said, girl, now, Jen Audette was in my head because I just went to her world tour. And she talked about the whole flipping from, buy, host, join. Start with join. Join, host, buy. Offer the join first. Because first thing I thought in my head was, oh, she wants 30 bars. That's X amount of PRV. But then my mind was like, no, wait, she's at a party. She could get some of these for free and half off. And I was like, no, she should just join. And I put it out there. I was like, you want all these bars, you should just join already. You're spending all that money on bars. And she was like, oh, I don't know. And maybe I'll book a party and then see how it goes. She was like $500. She signed up. She's been with me ever since. That order right there could have just been an order. But it turned in her joining. And she loves it. But one of the things that I do is I will say to someone, and this works a lot, especially if we're already having the conversation. Hey, so-and-so. Hey, Susie. Would you happen to know of anyone that would be interested in earning some extra income as a Scentsy consultant? I have a consultant kit. I don't say Hostess exclusive or sign up kit. They don't understand what that is. A consultant kit at a discounted price. And I'd hate to see it go to waste. Do you know of anyone that could use it? And at that time, I let her decide. Does she know someone? Does she not know anyone? Or does she want that someone to be her? And sometimes the someone is her. She'll say, well, what about if it's for me? Because sometimes, you know what? I have a kit available in a party that I'm going to close out at no cost. If it's someone that I know, she's bought a lot for me, she's been a great hostess in the past, I have no problem saying, yeah, it'll be at no cost. I have found over the years and experience that those who even spend a little bit of money, they have some vested interest, they tend to do better. The ones that I just give the kit to, I still, in my mind, I think, okay, what would I rather have? Take the chance on having a new downline or keeping that hostess credit for myself and getting 12 bars of wax versus giving her the kit. I can't say I've ever really felt bad about it. I will not flip PRV if they didn't earn it themselves. Shame on me, because I've done that before, thinking, oh, you know what? It's going to get her halfway to certified, that $500. Guess what? They stay right there at $500, not doing anything else. No vested interest in it for them. So, but that's one of the things that's worked for me, asking them if they know anyone, because honestly, that's one of the things that we feel weird about. Like, how do we put it out there, right? So I think it takes the pressure off of you and them, because you're not asking them directly. Sometimes you do want to ask them directly. You do want to let them know that you think they would be great at this. And they're like, really? Okay, well, all right. I mean, I had a hostess one time. We were doing the Facebook party. I told her I wanted her wish list, so we could show all her guests what she wanted to get free and half off. Just list like this. She was already at like $500 in online orders. And I said, you know, with as much stuff as you want, you might just want to think about being a consultant. Like, you're already going to make this much on your party. This. And she's like, yeah, I think I will. Right. And that was during a time when I was working on the accelerated leadership program. And that program was about making me be intentional. You know, some of you have done it. You needed to, have somebody sponsored within a certain period of time. That made me be intentional. So if you have your tracker and you're being intentional, it's going to make you want to have more conversations. You just tell yourself, I'm going to have 3 to 4 conversations a week. I'm going to have X amount of conversations until I get these many parties booked. You just do it. You have to want it. You have to want it. So that's about it. Anybody have any questions? Anybody?
I was muted. I was trying to unmute myself.
That's all right.
I don't know if I have any questions, but. So one of Verna's comments under the post I created, one of her excuses that she gave, and I'm pretty sure it's hers, but I'm not going to say that it's hers because I was just like, somebody put something out here trying to get people to participate. She said she's so backwards.
She's so backwards.
Yep.
Well,
which, by the way, you're totally not anymore. So give it up. If you're TikToking, you're not backwards.
Yeah, she's not TikToking. Well, she is TikToking now, so she's not backwards. Again, that comes from the things that you're telling yourself, right? You have to start telling yourself the opposite. You know what? I am outgoing. I am approachable. I am this. I am that, like words of affirmation, right? But it takes practice. I mean, believe it or not, because you guys know I do like to talk. I also get nervous about having conversations with people, and I don't love going live. I really don't. Every month I tell myself I'm gonna go live about this whiff box, and I don't. But I need to. So yeah, I get it. I get it. You've got to make what you want. You've got to make what you want as your end result be bigger than your excuses. You have to really want it, because sometimes big things are scary to do when you think about it. But what's more scary? The thought of not achieving your goals and your dreams and not getting what you want. So you just have to keep practicing. Baby steps. The Olympics are on right now. These people didn't become amazing at what they're doing by trying it one time. Persistence. And you keep going, being tenacious. Yep.
And what if you never leave your house?
If you never leave your house. I saw that one. And you know what was going through my head? You never leave the house.
Yeah.
You'll never go to the grocery store. You don't even pull up and let someone pick up your groceries. You never go. You never get gas. You never go to the bank. You don't get mail from the mailbox. You go to the doctors.
I do go to the doctors.
You go to the doctor. Well,
my husband goes to the grocery store.
Guess what? I don't know if you know this or not, but there was this thing. Well, there's still this thing. It's called COVID. And like a lot of us didn't leave our house. We weren't even allowed to. Can you believe that? The time where you wouldn't be allowed to leave your own home. Like, I thought this was the Hunger Games, but couldn't leave your own home. Wasn't meeting any new people. And I had some of my biggest months.
Yeah.
5,000 to 6,000.
Actually, so did I.
Because you're finding ways, right? You're finding ways to connect with people you already know. You're not meeting new people, but the people that you already know, you're booking parties, and then you're meeting new people through them. I mean, I'm not booking parties through the lady I met at the grocery store.
Right.
I'm not. Right. But it's about being intentional.
Of course, then
And
everyone else left their house and I'm still here.
but I'm not, I mean, I'm leaving my house, but I'm not booking parties or getting recruits from leaving my house.
Right.
My people that I meet are through people that I already know and from booking the parties. And that comes from like, you know, there have been those posts about like the whole diffuse, like pick a number, right? And then, oh, you can, you know, get this diffuser, tell them in private for $10. I booked like 7 parties with that. People that had never booked parties before. I mean, there's some really great ideas out there and posts that you can post like, hey, if you could get any of these warmers for free, which one would you choose? Then you follow up with it. Oh, you picked that warmer. Hey, I'll give that to you at half off if you at least have a qualifying party or whatever. Get the 500, I'll give it to you for free. Use your perpetual reward that's in there and you pay the difference, whatever you want it to be, right? But that's how you're going to meet new people, is getting parties booked. Booking blitz. Challenge yourself to do a booking blitz, to book so many parties within a certain amount of time, things like that. I mean, you know, I know a superstar director that's in a wheelchair. She could use excuses. No, I know people that are bedridden and still booming in their business. I know someone through another superstar director who has cancer. I don't even know if she's going to make it through this. And I think she might even be top 75 trip earner. I know she's level 3 and a woman's fighting for her life. So I'm like, yep, they're really, yeah. I have to kick myself sometimes because I have a pity party for myself sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think about these people and what they're doing and how they're pushing through. And I'm like, yep, I've got no excuse. I can do this. I try to focus on, well, and that's something to wake up every day and find something to be grateful for. And my great thought of the day. And I have a gratitude journal too. But if you can find something every day to be grateful for, it really does help you focus less on what you don't have going on that you wish was different. For sure. Because if we dwell on that, it just sucks us into that black hole.
Very true.
Yep. So true. I get parched when I talk, so wine makes my mouth less dry.
I have water and tea, and I think there's a soda over here too.
I drank lots of that earlier today. Lots of water. I did have some tea. This is my little nightcap. So, anything else? Anything anybody wants to add? No?
Nope.
Nope. Alrighty. I don't think I forgot anything. But thanks for letting me share.
Thanks for sharing with us. I was so excited when you said yes.
You know, it's hard for me to say no.
I know, but I feel bad asking people because this is literally usually all there is. So it's like, who's gonna want to, you know, give up their time to come talk to, you know, 2 or 3 people? But
well, you know, I've got to get back in the game. Like I haven't been going live as much and doing as much training. So it's like when people are asking me, when they ask me to help, I've been saying yes, because I know I need to do it more. I need to do it more. So.
and like I said, when we first started, I look whenever I upload to YouTube, and there are people watching. I mean, it could be the same person watching 16 times. I don't know. I mean, it's not huge numbers. I think there's one that has like a 20 couple views or something, but it gave me a little hope. So we're gonna pretend that it's 20 different
Better
people.
than 0.
Better than me on here talking to myself. So look, I even wore a heart for you guys for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Aw.
that's cute.
Isn't it cute?
It's very
I
cute.
thought because of the way you were sitting, I couldn't see it. I thought you had a Mickey Mouse sweater on it,
Well,
with Mickey Mouse ears, and I knew you
I
just.
mean, I
got
don't know
that
why
from
you would
Disney.
think that. Why? Because I have all these things in my office. Got this guy right here.
Toy Story.
Yeah, it's out of control. Out of control. I need a bigger office.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.
All right. I love you guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, you don't have to go away. I just want to stop recording.